Hi everyone and welcome to Lost Boy. My name is Jamie for those of you that are new to my channel, and for those of you that are returning, thank you for all of your support. This is going to be a general message for the sign of Virgo. This could be Virgo anywhere in your birth chart. Cross watchers, you're welcome as well. Please flip the roles however you see fit, but everybody please only take the messages that resonate with you in your particular situation and drop the ones that do not. If you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, I have a selection of options available on my website, and that link is down below in the description box. Before I get into the tarot, I did have a couple of channeled messages that I did want to get out. Well, mostly like one big message. There's been this individual here, or at least what I've seen, what came out in the pre-shuffle was somebody here who has been trying to control a situation for their own gain. I believe this is a person here who may have once been in a position of power or may have once been in a position of authority, or this is somebody here who doesn't like their authority questioned. Like, this is somebody who's dead set in their ways, somebody here who's unwilling to compromise. I feel like you rejected this person in some capacity, whether this was recently or whether this was some time ago. Somebody here is getting ready to rat this person out for some kind of plan that they had against you. And I feel like that plan was to try and get rid of you in some kind of way. I don't know if you're following what I'm saying. This could even been somebody here in some kind of criminal organization here that you were very unsuspecting. Because the image that came to me was Doofy, Officer Doofy from Scary Movie. And for those of you who don't know, yes, it's a comedy movie, but that character was somebody here who played off the fact that they were mentally challenged, right? That they weren't all there in the head. So that way they weren't seen as the suspect. But come to the end of the movie, they were the suspect. They ended up being the one who was offing people. Somebody here is upset because you didn't fall for something and you rejected them. And this is somebody here who does not like rejection. I feel like this is the type of person here who always feels like they get what they want. And when they can't get what they want from somebody, they feel threatened by you. So it's like they wanted to get rid of you because it's like if they couldn't control you, if they couldn't have you, if you couldn't serve them, then there was no point in you existing. Somebody here, somebody else that they're connected to may have done some research on you and may have gotten the 411, like the information that they needed. And that's why this person is going to rat that person out. This could be in a person of authority. This could be, I hate to say this, but it could be a police officer. It could be a judge. It could be a doctor. This is somebody here who is corrupt. Maybe you even called this person out when you rejected them. And maybe that's what they didn't like. 3, 2, 1 on the timer as I said that. Something here is... It's going back to the beginning. Or your energy is going back to the beginning. Because I also feel like part of this was somebody here trying to persuade the public. Or persuade anybody who would be willing to listen. That maybe you were the one. It's like they were trying to have you blamed for what it is that they were doing. So not only did you reject them, there was also a failed attempt that you were protected from. When all of that failed, it's like, all right, well, then I'm just going to pin what I'm doing on Virgo. But that also is not panning out. Because you have an unsuspecting ally here that is on your side, who is going to be ratting this person out. For names, I got David, I got Lori. That could be your name, that could be their name. I also got Aries and Sagittarius. So very, very strong fire signs. You can have those in your placements, or that could be this person here that you were dealing with. Either way, that person's being ratted out. So, let's get into the reading. Let's get into the cards and let's see what else comes out. I am going to do an energy reading first, see what's going on in your energy, And then we're going to do a Celtic cross and see what it is that you specifically need to know at this time, Virgo. So, universe, please give us an overall energy of what's going on in Virgo's energy at this time. I'm going to begin with the Storyteller's Tarot. We'll dive in with some tarot dice. Then we will clarify with a couple of oracles. Universe, what is going on in Virgo's energy, please? You guys also might have been in the process here of moving in silence. Maybe you've had this feeling within the past couple of months where you've had to keep things close to your chest. Because I feel like whoever that corrupt person was and is, I feel like they were connected to people around you, and you might have not even known, because I feel like they were using some kind of... They were exacerbating some kind of ailment, right, to make it seem like they were the victim of something. Universe, please give us an overall energy. Wow, that came out in the reverse. We have the Wise King. This is a Hierophant in the reverse. This is definitely some kind of corrupt leader of sorts. This could be a father figure, doesn't have to be, or this person could be a father. Maybe probably not a very good one. This is somebody here who forces some kind of control, right? They force somebody to believe something here that isn't true. This is somebody here who... What's the word that I'm looking for? They distort information here. They distort it for their own personal gain, for their own personal use. But somebody here is getting ready to go down. Some kind of leader is about to go down because they're losing some kind of support. This could be, like I said, a cult leader. It could be a coven member. It's somebody here who leads a coven. And it doesn't even need to be like in the witchcraft magical sense. It could be for some of you. But this is just somebody here who... It's given somebody here who keeps people around in order to harvest their energy. Somebody here who likes to be envied. They like to be put on some kind of a pedestal. With the rope to bind the wicked demons in his left hand and a sword to cut through ignorance in his right, Fadu Mayo seeks to convert anger into salvation as he is the protector of the truly faithful. As the deity of Singin Buddhism, his angered expression frightens non-believers into following the truth. He sits on a black stone that represents the unwavering peace and joy he bestows to the minds and bodies of the righteous. In front of a holy fire that purifies the mind and burns away material desires, Fadu Mao's fangs point in separate directions. One downward to bestow unlimited compassion to those who are suffering in body and spirit, and upward to represent spiritual pursuits and progress towards the truth. His hair is braided to the side, a symbol of his servitude to all sentient beings. When this card is reversed, the Wisdom King indicates that social customs and traditional familiarities feel suffocating at this moment. It's time to evaluate what's important to you, even if you previously held beliefs and traditions are being called into question. Be true to yourself and recognize when going against the norm might be what your heart really needs right now. So this is an individual here who was not expecting you to go against the norm. They had some kind of perceived notion about who you were because of what they saw. I also feel like you're not the type of individual here that's easily controllable. You're not somebody here who follows what society is doing. You're not a copycat. You're not a follower. You yourself are a leader. And I feel like this is also somebody here who has been very, very intimidated by the fact that you can lead. Because something here about your leadership has been showing other people how to be their own leaders. So not only did you reject this person from your life, but you continued to be you continued to be righteous. And they were threatened because they were losing support. This is somebody here who definitely thought that they held some power. Until it came to you, maybe they were able to control and manipulate other people that came before them. So what's the next best thing? Let's gain a fellowship talking about Virgo to try and take Virgo down. So Virgo's not a leader, so Virgo's not seen. This part's gonna get a little loud. I do apologize. Universe, please tell us more for Virgo. What is going on in their energy that they need to know of at this time? We have the Five of Swords. We have the Lovers. We have the Queen of Cups. And the Four of Cups. The blindfold is coming off. People are starting to see somebody exactly for who they are. This is definitely an individual here who was willing to win at all costs. They didn't care who they hurt in the process, as long as they were the victor. This could definitely be somebody here who was close to you at one point with this Lover's card. Family, friend, lover, business partner. Somebody is upset that you're not giving them recognition, you're not giving them attention, you're not putting them on a pedestal. This could have been somebody here that you looked up to, maybe that you envied. Not envied, but like that you supported at one point. Envy doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing, right? Like this, I definitely feel like this is somebody here who is older than you in some kind of sense. And maybe you looked up to this person, right? Maybe this person was wise at one point. Something here about your heart. You've healed your heart with the Queen of Cups. You have been very compassionate, very understanding here, very supportive of other people and maybe what they were going through. But something here about when that energy was not reciprocated. Somebody here was definitely intimidated by the fact that you were choosing you. And maybe they felt in a way that, oh, I'm losing my grip, I'm losing my control because now Virgo is focused on themselves, right? They're no longer focused on me. Because you saw and broke through some kind of illusion here with this Four of Cups, Three of Swords. You realize that somebody here was not only unsupportive of you, but not willing to reciprocate. We have the Chariot here. This fast movement moving forward. Some of you could even be literally moving. We have the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Somebody sees that your cup is overflowing because you're loving on yourself. You're taking care of yourself. You're nurturing yourself. And this could even be somebody here who maybe thought that they had won. They thought that they may have defeated you because, again, maybe you decided to start moving in silence, like I said earlier. And somebody here felt like, oh, that's it, I won. I also feel like you gave something up to the universe. Especially with this Ten of Wands. You're like, you know what, this burden, this struggle, Whatever this person is trying to project, it's not my problem anymore. Because when the energy wasn't fair, when it wasn't equal, when somebody here was not respecting you or even your boundaries, especially with that Five of Swords, Three of Swords, it's like they doubled down to try and hurt you. They wanted you hurt. They wanted you down. Because if they couldn't control you, if they couldn't use you, if they couldn't manipulate you, well, then why do you still need to be around type of energy? We have the Three of Cups and we have the Hermit. This could definitely be somebody here who is constantly partying, constantly celebrating. This is somebody here who... And that's part of the control with the emotions, right? They come in when they want to have fun. It always wants to be a good time, right? But when you speak up on how you feel or how this person's actions make you feel, suddenly you're the bad guy. You're always the bad guy. Maybe because something about your wisdom, maybe somebody here has been thinking that you were just picking at their flaws, when in all actuality, you were just expressing how you felt and how you needed to be supported. And somebody here did not respect that. Five of Cups. Now somebody here they're sad, they're grieving, they're depressed. Because something is catching up to them because, like I said, somebody here is going to be ratting them out. Page of Wands sideways, the Ten of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. You decided to persevere and move forward with full confidence. Somebody sees that you're radiating now at this time. Something here is being laid to rest. And maybe that's just the way that you feel about this person anymore. Again, family, friend, lover, business. Somebody here took some kind of misstep or some kind of inappropriate action here based on their ego to create some kind of clash here for you, because it's like they felt like they needed to knock you down a couple of pegs because they, this is a person here who has been able to control how everyone views them. This person here could have even been wanted to be seen as somebody here who is righteous, as somebody here who cares for other people. Maybe you were calling them out because it's like if you really did care for other people, you would listen to other people here when they spoke up about how you treat them. Somebody here who's not able to take accountability for any of their actions. And this is really just somebody here who's just talking out of their ass. I feel like somebody here is getting themselves into some kind of trouble. Yeah, there's the High Priestess sideways. This is definitely somebody here who... They could even be part of a corrupt group, right? It's given like street rat, street gang, mob, or a corrupt organization of some sort. They definitely did not learn this on their own. You definitely stopped working with this person. And you're focused, and now I feel like the ending is coming here with this Ten of Pentacles. Something here that's been a long time in the making. This person could have even been trying to do things to try and rob and steal from your inheritance, from your spiritual inheritance, your spiritual blessings. Somebody could have even been trying to even like alter and doctor documents here to make sure that you didn't receive something by trying to create these false impressions about who you actually were. And maybe even trying to set you up in situations here, right, where you had to defend yourself in that moment, but the stage was already set to make it seem like you were probably crazy. The 10 in this 4 of swords equals 14 swords. Break that down, that becomes a 5. Again, somebody here who was willing to win at all costs. They didn't care who they hurt. There's been a lot of casualties involved in this because what happens is when you create all these false projections and all these false illusions and you keep running your mouth and talking all this shit, right? That messes up how other people move, how other people this person's connected to. Because then they made you their enemy. And maybe that's why somebody here is ratting them out, because somebody here could have done some digging, could have done some information, could have inquired more information in regards to you. And they found out that that really wasn't the case all along, that you were nothing like what this person said. Somebody here was definitely covering up for something that they did, and they were trying to use you as a scapegoat. Somebody really made you their villain. When in actuality, they were the villain all along. Some of you guys could also be a high priestess here of some sort. You could be highly intuitive. I mean, we do have the hermit there. You know thyself. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what you're capable of. And you're not somebody here who's willing to compromise your morals and your values for anybody else, even if this is family or a long-held friend or somebody here that you had worked with in business for a very, very long time. It's something here about, like, you don't have, like, blind loyalty, right? You like to inquire. You like to find out more information. You want to make sure you have all of the facts before you make a decision. Somebody here does not like that about you. Universe, tell us more, please. Tell us more for Virgo, please. Wow. Something is definitely being laid to rest. And somebody here is not concerned, or they are extremely concerned. Somebody here is extremely concerned that something here is being put to rest. Forever. For good. Somebody here is not going to be able to repeat something. It's going to finally be over. This 19... 9 plus 1 creates a 10. 10s are about endings, but endings also lead to new beginnings, because that also breaks down to a 1. There's an ending here, and a brand new beginning. People are saying goodbye to this individual. And this person here is extremely concerned, to the point where it's causing them to act irrationally, where they're giving themselves away. What also came out in the pre-shuffle was somebody here trying to burn evidence here, because they were trying to keep something that they did to you a secret. So somebody here is trying to do something recklessly and impulsive out of their extreme concern. They're not able to think logically. They're not thinking clear. Somebody definitely thought that they were going to be able to get away with something. We have Lovers. This is definitely an enemy that was hiding in your camp. They're getting ready to go on some kind of a journey here. This could involve a house, a home, an inheritance, your stability, your security, your livelihood. Something's happening here in the close near future. An anchor is getting ready to be planted. Something has already been anchored in. And this could have even been happening since childhood. Or maybe there are children involved somehow. Somebody here could have even been weaponizing children. To get you, maybe to get you caught up in some kind of a case. Maybe, like, I don't know, like I said, maybe this is a parent. Like, maybe they're a parent, but they're a corrupt parent. Maybe they're a piss poor father. And maybe they were trying to claim that, you had done something to to their children or something in order to have some kind of investigation be placed upon you. But then something here came up empty. And now somebody here that maybe they were connected to one of their own allies and supporters, somebody here who found more information, which shame on them for even supporting this person in the first place. Maybe they didn't know any better. Now somebody here is ratting them out. Hell, it could even be their own child that is even ratting them out. Universe, tell me more for Virgo. It's very interesting, the things that people come up with, right? Especially when they're filing fake reports or casting accusations. Right? It's the energy of, like, whoever smelt it, dealt it type of energy, right? So maybe this could even be somebody here who maybe didn't want to be found out for maybe, I don't know, this person's gross. I don't even want to say it, but this could be somebody here who, is an MAP. Right? A minor attracted person, but they were trying to say that it was you. Maybe that's why they're burning evidence. We have an impasse. Somebody was definitely trying to create some kind of roadblocks, trying to create some kind of illusion, projection here. They wanted people to go up against you. They wanted you to encounter resistance. This could even be why people weren't supporting you, because of some kind of perception here that was cast. To try and stop you, to try and delay you, to not support you. And maybe you couldn't even figure out why. And maybe you were even walking around, Virgo, like, why do I feel like I have, like, somebody's watching me, or like I have these eyes on me? It's because you were under investigation, but that investigation came up empty. We have a miracle, complacency, and a soulmate. People are chalking this up to, oh, maybe this person's like, oh, Virgo's just always been extremely lucky, but I also feel like you've been extremely faithful. You've been faithful to God, to Source, to Universe, right? Whomever you worship. Somebody here has been complacent, withering away, not taking any meaningful action to actually nurture anything around them. They feel like their whole life, their own life is falling apart. And maybe that's why they're extremely concerned. Like I said, this is definitely a soulmate of sorts. It definitely has come out 3 times. This is definitely somebody here that you are karmically connected with. And not all soulmates are meant to be in our life forever. Some are meant to be in our life for a specific reason. I also feel like your name is going to be cleared against all the odds. Maybe this person thought they crossed all their T's and dotted their I's, but they weren't counting maybe on their own, turning on them, ratting them out. They weren't counting on that. Universe. Wow, I just cut this deck dirt digging. Photo proof. So there is some kind of evidence here. Some kind of evidence that is coming to light about some kind of imposter. This is somebody here who wanted to be you. They wanted your glory. They wanted the attention that you got. They wanted the praise that you got. Right? If this is somebody here that was in your family or even in your friend group or even at work, right? Maybe they didn't like the fact that you were lucky, that you were, I don't know, supported by the divine, by source, by universe. Maybe they didn't like your gifts, they didn't like your natural ability, they didn't like your oomph. Here, your confidence as the Queen of Wands, your ability to shine, right? Your authenticity, your truth, you just being you. Somebody couldn't stand that. Maybe because this person couldn't be who they are, right? Obviously, they're having some kind of secret life. I just heard binoculars. I don't know. You've definitely been dealing with some kind of a creep. We have a happiness hater. This person's mad at people who follow their own happiness because maybe they feel like they can't for whatever reason. So it was just easier to try and be you, to try and impersonate you. And maybe they were able to get away with it because of the perception and the illusion that they cast around you, by having others condemn you for something that you never did. This is a wolf in sheep's clothing. This is somebody here who acts all sweet, all innocent, all kind, like they care for you, like they respect you, like they're there for you. But like I said, if they were actually really there for you, and if you were calling out for help and telling them what you needed for help, but yet they didn't listen. And maybe you're like, what's wrong with this person? Why do they keep treating me like that even though I keep telling them not to? It was all part of the plan to make you seem crazy, in order for you to be miserable because they're miserable. And they were able to play it off again because they're a wolf in sheep's clothing. Universe, tell us more. Universe, tell us more for Virgo. We have running in the reverse. Somebody here. Excuse me. It's like they wanted you to disappear. They wanted you to run away. They wanted you to leave, right? They wanted you out of the picture, but you didn't. You didn't, and this is some kind of miracle. We have somebody here is definitely haunted by what they've done. They're creeping, lurking, keeping an eye on you. It's like somebody here is obsessed. This could even be somebody here who, like, wants you. Like, maybe you decided you rejected this person in some kind of way. Maybe this person's attracted to you. If this is somebody in your family, that's even creepier. Somebody here is haunted. Side effects. Somebody knows the side effects are getting ready to haunt them now. This is definitely somebody here who lives outside of their means. They're fake flexing. They act rich. Somebody here who flosses. Acts fancy. Shows off. Somebody here who... right? Because, like, going back to that Officer Doofy, right? Again, he played it off as if he was mentally incapable, that he was not capable of something. But it was all a big ruse. It was all a big ruse. Right? And maybe that person even gained some kind of support from others. They gained some kind of sympathy, which gave him that leeway. Right? So that way people wouldn't focus on him because they were like, oh, you know, he's just incapable. But the person was fully capable. It was all a ruse. Maybe this person was able to keep up with that control right? Because he likes the benefits that he receives in order to maintain their lifestyle. Somebody here who definitely lives outside their means. And that's something about you didn't fall for it. You didn't fall for it. You saw right through this person. That's why you rejected them. Because you're like, I'm sorry, it's inexcusable that you keep asking for help and support, but are unwilling to give that when it's asked for. There's been no equal respect. Your light irritates their demons. That's what it is. You're somebody who keeps it real and not afraid to call somebody out. Child services could be getting involved. Somebody here could be at risk for losing their children. Because of all of the lies that they said about you. Maybe by even trying to file some kind of... By filing a fake report, or by trying to persuade the masses in some kind of way, it definitely gained the attention of somebody else here. You unwillingly, Virgo, I feel like you took down a criminal mastermind. Just by being authentically you. And I don't even think you knew what you were doing. You were just being you. And being you revealed who they truly are, because it didn't match up. It didn't align with what they said, with the evidence that they concocted, with the evidence that they manipulated. It didn't match up. Something here is being laid to rest. I don't think this person even sees what's coming. I also feel like they're acting shady right now at this time. And I feel like whoever the rat is, whoever that mole is that's going against them, I also feel like they're also going to get in trouble for being complacent for so long. And that could even been maybe their own partner. I honestly feel like this person was just trying to keep themselves supported, but instead of doing things the right way, they did things immorally, illegal, unjust, and now somebody here is going to be receiving bad karma, and now they can't handle it. And this is a miracle. Some shit is getting ready to go down for you, Virgo. You have taken down a leader of some kind of corrupt organization, and that's why a miracle is headed your way. I also feel like whatever's happening right now was always meant to play out the way that it is. Or the way that it's going to. And that's because you refuse to run away from something. And you could have had this inkling, like, that this person wasn't on your side, and you even tried to express that as well. Because when you couldn't get this person to see things your way, and when you caught on to what it is that they were doing energetically, because you can feel energetically, right? When somebody's gaslighting you, when somebody's plotting something, when somebody here is creeping on you. That's why you rejected them. That's why you pulled back your energy. Because you recognize patterns. You're able to connect dots. So when they couldn't control you, when they couldn't manipulate you for their own personal gain, well, then they were like, shit, I gotta get rid of Virgo. Because the Virgo is going to be the end of me if people start believing them, so I need to create this whole plan, concoct this whole shenanigan involving their own family, their own partners, their own friends, even their own work people here, by constantly running their mouth about you and what it is that you're doing. By fabricating something in order to sway public opinion, in order to gain some kind of support. This person was their own downfall, and their hatred is being seen by the world. They're just mad that you're happy. Universe, give us one more, please, for Virgo. We have a thief. Somebody who robbed you, took something from you, caused some kind of loss, physical or emotional, or hell, even both. Child services is here at the bottom of the deck. Some kind of impersonator, and now they're crying, they're sad, they're hurt, they're upset because God is on your side. They just thought that you were lucky your whole life, but they didn't realize that maybe you were a starseed, a chosen one, very well protected by your own ancestors. This could even be like adopted family, or even like a step sibling or a step parent or something. They didn't like your glory, they didn't like your righteousness. So it was easier to try and emulate and impersonate you, to try and be you. But you know what happens to individuals who try to carry a frequency that is not theirs? They'll start to deteriorate. This person could literally be deteriorating right before your eyes. I don't know. Some kind of enforcement here. It doesn't even have to be child services. There's been some kind of abuse, some kind of neglect. Something here is about to be reported. Now this person's crying over you because they were trying to dig for dirt. Could be a karmic friend. This could even be somebody here who even teamed up with your own friends. They could have even been paying people off with money that they didn't even earn, because people were just giving them handouts. And you're moving in silence. This person doesn't know what you're up to now, and maybe that's why they thought that they won, because they thought that they defeated you because you have been very quiet. You haven't been sharing. Maybe they thought that they finally crushed your happiness, that they crushed your spirit, they crushed your soul. I feel like you just gave it to God, kept your head down, and did what you had to do. Now this person's gonna want to come in and kiss some kind of kiss your ass. Because they're in legal issues. Court, judges, immigration, lawyers. The fire that they burned for you is the one that's gonna end up being lit right underneath their own ass. Alright, Virgo, I'm gonna clear this up, and then we're gonna do your Celtic cross, and we're gonna see what it is that you need to know and the moves that you need to make next for your own soul's growth and soul's mission. But before I do, I'm going to take a quick break to use the bathroom, and I will be right back. Alrighty, Virgo, I am back. We are going to get ready for your Celtic cross. Universe, please help us put these cards in order for a Celtic cross. For Virgo, please. What is it that they need to know at this time for their highest good? Eight of Wands, Six of Cups. There's going to be fast-forward movement that's happening for you. We have the Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I feel like you're coming out of this period right now where you're not feeling bad for people, and you're no longer... All of these swords, to me, this is all the bad things that people try to do to you, try to say to you. I feel like it's no longer allowing you to keep you up at night. You're no longer allowing it to affect you. You're not allowing those projections, that negativity to hit you anymore. You're still walking around with your head held high, and people are seeing how your spirit has just been so light and that you're floating through. Some people realize that something here is no longer having an effect on you. And this has people shocked, because you're moving differently now. We're also going to clarify this. You could be at this place right now where maybe your finances have been robbed, have been stolen. Maybe you don't feel really secure about where you are in life right now with this Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Maybe something here had to do with you recognizing your own value and what it is that you bring to the table. Maybe you felt like whoever some people were in your life, maybe you've had to cut some people out, even with this Death card. You've had to create some kind of endings here in order for you to have some kind of transformation. I'm a firm believer that nothing in life comes to us without some kind of sacrifice. Right? Not everybody can make it to the future with us, because not everybody is on the same path as us. That's why we had that Six of Cups and Eight of Wands. You decided to leave the past in the past and make the sacrifice for your highest good. And when I talked about being in hermit mode earlier, maybe some of y'all went into hermit mode to get closer to your own divinity, to get closer to God, to get closer to Source, to build your own personal relationship with the universe. And so that way you can find your own place, your own footing in who you are and who it is that you are always meant to be. We definitely have teamwork and collaboration here clearly on your mind, right? This definitely has to do with people that you've been involved with, and people that whom you have been working with. What's driving this reading is that people are seeing that you're no longer putting effort in to a situation here. We do have the Page of Wands in the reverse in the past influences. This is you not taking the right action, but I feel like that's no longer happening. I feel like you're moving on. In the future temperance, this is you transmuting that energy, recognizing your worth. Things coming into alignment for you. You stepping into your rightful position with this Four of Wands. There is some kind of celebration that is happening here. However, I am not liking this Ace of Swords in the reverse as your outcome. Because I feel like there's somebody here who's still going to try and lie and try and manipulate something. Because somebody here senses that something is over and that you're no longer the same Virgo that you were, hell, even a week or two ago. Somebody here they definitely have noticed your shift and your changes here, and that has people on edge. That has people on edge. Your ability to transmute energy, to move forward, to accept, to embrace change. Wow, we have the King of Cups and we have the Tower. It could be a water sign here. Who's going down, Scorpio, who is going down because you've become too emotionally intelligent for them. Well, they're the ones that push you that far. You know, Virgo's very analytical. If you don't think they're going to learn, they will. Like I said earlier, you connect dots. Universe, help us clarify this reading. The Tower. Something shocking is definitely getting ready to go down at this time. Some kind of false contract that somebody was trying to get you into. It's like somebody here wanted you to take care of them forever. And when that didn't happen, it was like, all right, then I'm just going to take everything away from you to make sure that they're set. And they might have been able to get away with this because they did this to everybody else but you. Two of Cups reversed, Seven of Pentacles reversed, the Tower. Knight of Swords, Strength reversed. See, somebody here was trying to use fear. They were trying to suppress you with fear. They didn't want you to move forward. They didn't want you to take any action because they were trying to suppress you with fear. But fear is the devil's work. Because you're moving forward, you have this Knight of Cups with this Temperance energy. That's beautiful. That's you leading with your heart, moving forward, expressing yourself, not being afraid anymore. Somebody also sees that you pulled back your energy. You're no longer investing or working in something here, and somebody here knows that there's this kind of loss here because they know that you have no fear anymore. This could even be somebody here who said that you were not worth something, that you were not of value, whatever it is that you were working on, and you were like, no, the problem isn't me. I feel like you're doubling down on something, and you're like, all right, well, clearly the problem's not me. Somebody here was just being unsupportive. They wanted you to be a team player, but somebody... That's what this reading is really all about, is the fact that you're no longer willing to work with people who are not willing to work with you. If they're not going to treat you as an equal, then bye. Somebody here definitely had people here, you're done with people who have this grandiose idea that they are better than you. It's given me people who were even trying to talk you out of ideas, trying to dumb you down. They didn't want you to see your worth. They didn't want you to recognize what it is that you bring to the table. All, meanwhile, receiving some kind of a handout. They still want to come in and try to rob and take something from you. They don't want you to have this new beginning. They see that you're transmuting energy. They see that you're moving on. So they want to try and rob a blessing from you with some kind of lie again. And this could be somebody here who's going to present themselves to look really, really good. Somebody here super confident, super brave. This person could be really good looking. Trying to tie you down to something that you know is not good for you. I feel like you're going to be tested at this time. While this tower is happening, while your enemies are being defeated from the previous reading, you're being tested by the universe to see, did you learn the lesson? Are you going to continue to allow fear get in the way? Or are you going to lead with your heart and be brave and express yourself? External to you, Three of Cups, Two of Wands. This celebration has been a long time in the making. Some kind of recognition here. You were definitely being recognized for your truth. People here could even be saying that you're even acting really cold as the Queen of Swords, that you're switching up on them. But the truth is, they're the ones that switched up on you. It's like you took a page right out of their book. And this could be a King of Swords in the reverse, a corrupt leader. Something here is happening really, really fast. Somebody here has been extremely codependent. Maybe they wanted you codependent on them. They wanted you to need them. But you're nobody's victim. Because I feel like you're looking at this situation, you were looking at situations around you like, you want me to need you because you need me. You need me where I'm at. To make themselves look better. Universe, please clarify this Ace of Swords. Temperance in the reverse. See? They don't want you to move on. They want you right back as their victim. They don't want you to move on. They don't like this change. They don't like this switch up that you're making. They don't want you to be happy. But there's the King of Pentacles. You're making shit happen. Some of y'all are definitely tapping into your masculine side at this time, making moves, because you're like, you know what? And that's why this Queen of Swords is out, because you're like, you know what? When I'm kind, when I'm nurturing, when I'm compassionate, when I want to share, when I want to take care of my own, I get taken advantage of. But when you're in your masculine energy, right, you make moves, you see the truth. You're not afraid to absolve false contracts that are not giving you anything back in return. People don't like the switch up that you're doing. Be very, very careful, because I definitely feel like you are going to be tested at this time, Virgo. You are definitely going to be tested, because people see that you are moving on, that you are expressing yourself, and they're trying to do everything they can to make sure that their tower doesn't come crumbling down, to make sure that some kind of lie, some kind of codependency, something here that they crafted for themselves. It's definitely something to do with a home or an inheritance, or them wanting you to be tied to them in some kind of contract. Like, say you guys, like, maybe you guys are supposed to inherit something together. Or they want you to start a business with them, or they want you to put their name on something with them because they want you to be attached to them, but they have no intention on following through with their end of the contract. They're hoping that because your name is on it, you're such a good person, that you would keep up with something. Because it has something to do with credit. Like credit. Because, you know, at the end, both of your names are on it, right? You're like, well, for you, Virgo, you're like, well, I guess I'm going to have to cover this even though they're not helping me, because I'm the one that's still going to end up taking the hit and the loss. And that's what they want. Because they want to be seen as they're incapable. Going back to what I said earlier in the other reading. Because they want to seem like they're incapable of something, when in all actuality, they've been the mastermind behind the whole plan. Somebody's true character is getting ready to be revealed. It really is. And that's why somebody here could be in extreme guilt. This is definitely somebody here that was in your camp with this Five of Wands reversed. Because the Five of Wands upright, it's about the team, the group, coming together to practice their skills, to sharpen their skills, right? Whether this is, you know, an army, right? Or troops, like practicing their drills, or a sports team coming together to practice before. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be a team, but somebody here wanted to be a leader. And something here about you standing out, something here about your skills are unmatched. Be very, very careful. Especially when it comes to somebody here wanting to offer you something. Somebody here could even be trying to even create some kind of an apology here in hopes to try and pull you back, to draw you back in. They could even be trying to offer you something. Maybe they're trying to claim that it comes from the heart. It doesn't. They just know where it is that you're going and what it is that you're receiving. So they're hoping that you would accept this little bribe. That's really what it is. It's like a little bribe that they want you to accept. Some of you, this could even be like some kind of negative entity that has been working through this person. Because remember, we don't fight amongst flesh and blood. We fight amongst principalities. Universe, give me one more for this outcome, please, for Virgo. The Nine of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Somebody here is going to be having extreme guilt because they're not able to stop you from moving on. Strong Sagittarius, definitely strong Scorpio, Leo energy here. Double Leo with this King of Wands. Could even be Aries as well. A lot of fire energy and a lot of water here. It's like you put out somebody's flame. You did. Six of Swords reverse and the Ace of Wands. Yeah. Somebody's actively working hard to try and keep you back in. This person could even be trying to claim that they're sorry and that they're apologetic, but I don't even think they really mean it because they're not really remorseful. But I feel like you already know this. Continue to move in silence. Continue to move in silence and continue to trust in your intuition. Do not be afraid to look within. You have all of the information that you need already. All of the knowledge, everything that you need is within you in this next phase. For this next month, whenever you watch this video, for this next month, everything that you need is already within you. Alrighty, we're gonna start wrapping this up a little bit. I'm gonna pull out the Scrabble tiles. We're gonna see what comes out. If there's any names or places or anything here that can give you some confirmations or some additional information. And we'll close out with an oracle and an affirmation. Wow, I left these three behind by accident. I just noticed it. The Eight of Cups upright, the Page of Wands reverse, injustice. So somebody here created an injustice here because you walked away, because you chose you. You chose to put you first. You chose to put your happiness first. You chose to put your dreams first. And somebody was like, how dare you? Strong Libra energy here. That injustice is now catching up to them. It really is. Somebody here did not honor the relationship they had with you. When we saw that Two of Cups reversed, they didn't honor that relationship with you because they didn't really value you. Somebody here took you for granted and then dragged you down and didn't think that you would get back up and transmute the energy. Like I said, something here is happening how it was always meant to play out. You were put in this person's life for a test, for a reason. And they failed. And so whatever entity is working through them is pissed. Somebody here could have even sold their soul, sold their life away to something. We had that King of Cups reversed earlier too. Somebody here could be overindulgent in some kind of substance. They're not even themselves. They're a product of what they consume. This is going to get loud for a moment, so I do apologize. Universe, any final message? Something here about Tennessee. Any final messages and confirmations here for Virgo, please, at this time? Any final messages and confirmations for Virgo, please? We have the number 10, the number 7. This could be somebody's birthday, or these numbers can mean something to you. We have the number 52. Something here about dabs. I don't know, maybe somebody, I don't know, maybe that's how they speak, like, give me dabs, or they smoke the dabs. We have 92, 23, 99. Something here about a boa. I don't know, maybe they were trying to constrict you like a boa constrictor. We have number 100. We have number 80. Something here about PPP loans, maybe? I don't know. Maybe somebody here falsified something with some PPP loans. Maybe they claimed that you were one of their employees, when in all actuality you weren't. Something here got found out maybe through taxes or something. Someone's name could be Todd. Todrick. We have the number 60. Something here about a bet. Maybe somebody here placed a bet on you. Maybe they were betting against you. Somebody's name could be Betty. We have the number 64 and 12. Someone's name could be Jan or Jane. Someone's name could be Janice. The number 71. Someone's name could be Hillary. Something that could have happened in January, or something that could have been happening since January. Something here about Connecticut, or something here about a CT scan. Something here about Tex-Mex. Something here about Texas. Someone's name could be Wayne. Someone's name could be Aaron. Someone's name could be Quentin. Someone here is asking how are they getting caught, how something's going down. Someone's name could be Howie. Howard. Something here about a Rolex. Maybe somebody here wears a Rolex, or they stole a Rolex. Someone's name could be Nolan. I can spell Aaron with double A's. Someone's name could be Ken, Kenneth, Kenny. Something here about debt. Maybe somebody here wanted you in debt, but maybe now they're falling in debt. Something here about a boat. Maybe somebody here owns a boat. Or maybe they did something on a boat. Maybe they're trying to get rid of evidence on a boat. Someone's name could be Deb. Debbie, Deborah. Something here about a mister. I don't know, maybe that's what they like to be called. They like to be called Mr. Or they want to be seen as mature. Something here about BS, bullshit. Somebody here is just bullshit. Something here about dodge. Maybe somebody here is trying to dodge something. Or somebody here could drive a dodge. Something here about a flop. I don't know. Something here is about to flop. Somebody's plans are about to flop. Something here about print. Maybe something here is going to be printed, or somebody here tried to print something false. Maybe somebody here manufactured something and printed something. Something here about DHS, Department of Homeland Security. If you're in the US, I don't know. Someone's name could be Jess, Jessica. Someone's name could be Tom, Tommy, Thomas. Someone's name could be Reba. Or maybe somebody here likes watching Reba. A boat could be trying. Maybe somebody here is gonna get, I don't know, get in trouble on a boat. Something is about to flop over. Be very careful. Maybe somebody here is going out during choppy waters. Be very careful. Please check the weather before you get on a boat. Or maybe they were trying to set something up on a boat for it to flip or something. I don't know. Something here about a cut. Somebody was trying to cut something, or they were wanting to cut you, wanting to hurt you. Someone's name could be Peter, Pete. Something here about a bat. I don't know, maybe somebody here does things at night. Something about any. Somebody here is just looking for anything. Anything, like maybe that's how they get their entertainment. Something about DSW. I think that's a shoe place. I don't know, something here about shoes. I don't know, maybe somebody was trying to walk in your shoes or claim that you were walking in their shoes. Something here about HEB. I think that's a grocery chain down south. Something here about AOL. I don't know what that means. Something here to do with the internet. Something here about DOT. Maybe somebody's nickname is DOT, or something here about DOT, Department of Transportation. Something here about a crab, or maybe somebody here has crabs. I don't know. Something here about New York. Somebody here is also trying to grab something, trying to take something for themselves, but something here is out of reach, or they wanted something here to be out of reach. Maybe they wanted you to come to rely on them to help you reach something. They wanted you to think that they were your savior in some kind of way. Something here about a dam, right? Maybe they were trying to control your flow. Somebody here is all about YOLO. They live in the moment. Maybe somebody here is like, you only live once. They have no faith. They don't believe in anything else. Someone's name could be Alex. Something here about right now, like maybe somebody here has no patience when they ask you something, they want it done at that moment. So this is somebody here who has a disregard for your time. Maybe they feel like you're not doing anything important, that you should stop what you're doing and help them. Something here about a base. I don't know. Maybe somebody here could be into the baseball, or I don't know. We have Tennessee here again. Something here about an anchor. Something here could be beyond the news, maybe like a news anchor. Could be, I don't know, some kind of story is coming out. Something here about a will, or someone's name could be William. Someone's name could be Trey. Or Tracy. Something here about a jar. I don't know if somebody was doing jar spells or something, trying to jar you up, trying to keep you packaged. Something here is definitely going to print. Something here about a prince, or maybe that's somebody's name, or maybe that's their nickname. I don't know, maybe there's somebody here who feels like they're royalty. Someone's name could be Horatio. Someone's name could be Thelma. Something about the movie, maybe Thelma and Louise. I don't know, maybe somebody thought that you were in something together. Something here about a pod. Or like the pod, like the moving pods, storage. Something here about a storage facility or something. Something here about a bow. I just saw like a bow and arrow. Maybe somebody here's into archery. Or somebody likes to present things with the big bows to try and get a reaction, like they're actually giving you a gift or something. Someone's name could be Fran, Francis. Frank. Someone's name could be Jen, Jennifer. Someone's name could be Dante. Something about Dante's Inferno. Something here about a shop. I don't know if somebody was targeting your shop, or somebody here likes to shop too much, or they were trying to stop you from being able to go out and buy things. Somebody's name could be Godric or Rick. Somebody here thinks that they're God. Maybe they think they're above God, because, again, they don't believe in God. Something here about the Dow. Isn't that like stock exchange or like investments? Somebody who was trying to mess with your investments. Maybe they were purposely giving you wrong information, leading you down the wrong way. Something about somebody's brow. Or the color brown. Something here about brown. Somebody here could ride a trike. Something here about an ad. Or somebody was creating some kind of false advertisement. Someone's name could be Andy, Andrew. Something about a DA. A DA's involved here somehow. Maybe something here has finally crossed their desk. Someone's name could be Andre. Something here about a band. Or somebody here felt like people had to band together. Something here about a puck. It was weird, the music just turned off. Somebody's trying to shut something down for you. Someone's name could be Reese. Something here about a pet. Maybe somebody here thought that you were their pet. Or they treated you like a pet. Treated you like an animal. Someone's name could be Abraham. Something here about a telephone. Something here about a putt. Putt, like golf. Maybe somebody here plays golf. Somebody here could be shy. Maybe they took advantage of your shyness, or I don't know. Maybe somebody thought that because maybe you wouldn't overcome your shyness. I don't know. Or somebody here is too shy to be who they really are, so they're intimidated by your truth. Something here about a win. You're getting a win. Or maybe somebody's name could be Win or Wen. Something here about don't. Don't do something. Don't tell this person anything. Somebody here wants to weaponize information against you. Yeah, we definitely have that PPP here. Somebody here could have abused the PPP loans. I don't know if they're still investigating those. Something here about a rock. Something here about the Sox, Red Sox, White Sox. I don't know. Something here about socks. Someone's name could be Beatrice. Something here about the law or a lawyer is involved. Something here about a DUI. Maybe somebody was driving under the influence. Something here about a cow. I don't know, maybe somebody was trying to milk something for everything. They were trying to keep the milk for itself, collect something for themselves, trying to take it from you. Someone's name could be Jade. Someone's name could be Jace. Someone's name could be Jason. Something here about English. Something about Cheng. Maybe that's somebody's last name. Cheng. Chen. Someone's name could be Chris, Christine. Something about a doctor, an MD, or something about AMD. Isn't that like a computer chip or something? Maybe somebody here is a hacker or something. Isn't that like a processor? Something here about a processor? Something here about a paw? Again, with this whole animal thing, or something here to do with somebody's paw? Or an animal's paw? I hope nobody be hurting animals out here. Someone's name could be Nancy. Someone's name could be Nate or Nathan. Someone's name could be Lonnie, or something here about alone. Somebody here could be lonely. Maybe somebody here wanted you to just be lonely in life. Something here about a noob. I don't know, maybe somebody here thought that you were new to whatever it is that you're doing, but maybe somebody here underestimated your talents. Maybe you're not a newbie. Maybe you've put in a lot of time and effort. Something here about ate. Somebody here ate something, or they ate too much, or somebody here just constantly wanted to be fed. Something here about a toe. Maybe somebody here is getting towed, or they work for a tow company. Something here about a diss. Maybe somebody thought they were dissing you. They only ended up dissing themselves. Something here about a pun. Maybe somebody here speaks in puns. Something here about locks. Maybe somebody was trying to pick a lock or something. Somebody was trying to dox somebody. Maybe they were trying to dox you. Something here about a horn, or something here is getting ready to be sounded. The alarm is getting ready to be sounded. Someone's name could be Glenn. Something about high school. Maybe something goes all the way back to high school. Something here about pot. Maybe somebody here smokes a lot of pot. Or they were trying to stir the pot. Alright. That's all I have here. Something about the color orange. Maybe somebody who drives an orange car, or they wear a lot of orange. Someone's name could be Len or Lenny. Universe, please give us an affirmation for Virgo, please. Excuse me. Please give us an affirmation for Virgo, please. Thank you. We have power. I am strong, I am grounded, I am powerful. I am like a cross between a dinosaur and a tank, but not a tank that is used for war. I am like a peaceful, loving dino tank who feels so strong it doesn't need to do anything but be. That's how strong you are, that's how powerful you are. You are strong, you are grounded, you are powerful. You don't need to do anything but just be. Your entry into this realm was your birth. This is your birthright. You don't need anybody else's permission to exist as who you are. You were created as who you are. If you weren't meant to be, you wouldn't be here. Plain and simple. Universe, please give us a final message for Virgo, please. Universe, a final message for Virgo. Thank you. We have acceptance 39. That breaks down to a 12, which breaks down to a 3. There is great freedom in accepting things as they are. You cannot move forward on your path until you release some of the blame, anger, and sorrow that you have collected on your life's journey. Ganesha is asking you to forgive those from your past who have hurt you, and to be willing to forgive yourself too. Open your heart to the world outside, and to the one within. The deeper state of recognition and acceptance is what pushes you forward in your spiritual adventure. Love without judgment, and live without predetermined opinions. Accept and express your true self. The ego is beginning to align with the soul. What a relief. You don't have to control everything, fix everything, and know everything. If you have been overly serious and tense, you now start to remember happiness. You may find that you can laugh at things instead of getting infuriated. Your contentment in life improves dramatically when you harness your ability to look at the world from a more spiritual perspective. The image of Ganesha holding the banana symbolizes humility and an awareness of not placing too much importance on your thoughts or belief in the situation. His potbelly signifies the bounty of nature. It is said that Ganesha consumes the sadness of the universe and protects the world. Learn to honor the values of others that may differ from your own. See the beauty of diversity. Once you see this beauty, it will open you to recognizing and accepting the beauty that resides within you. We forgive people for what they've done because, again, we don't fight amongst flesh and blood, we fight amongst principalities. So forgive yourself for what has happened and the role, and how they may have made you react. There's no sense in blaming anybody now. The damage has been done. Accept where things are at, accept where people are at, and embrace the transmutation, embrace the change. You're no longer holding yourself accountable for what other people did. We're going to close this out with a page from the Book of Happy. Speak your truth. If someone from the past has caused you to doubt the validity of your worth in the world and silence your voice, find ways to reemerge, gain confidence, and speak out. In the greater universe, we may be tiny specks, but in this world, you are just as important as every other person. To empower your authentic voice, join a book club, community forum, or a social group where disseminating ideas and expressing personal opinions are encouraged. Work with a therapist or coach, or reflect on your voice by doing the following ritual. Wash a blue lapis lazuli chakra stone in a mild saltwater solution and let it dry in the sun to absorb solar energy. Lie in the corpse pose, a yoga position in which you're flat on your back, palms at your side, and place the stone over the center of your throat. Meditate on your inner divine nature and that happiness that arises when you use your voice. And that is what I have for y'all, Virgo. I am sending you all lots of love and lots of light, and I will see you next time. Ciao.